Hey guys, what's going on? It's Dan here, back again with another Versus episode. Today we'll be finding out whether or not the new supercars from the Finance and Felonies update can compete with the current king, the Progen T20. So up first we have the Progen T20 based off of the McLaren P1 costing $2.2 million. Up next is the Vapid FMJ based off of the 2017 Ford GT and Aston Martin Vulcan costing $1.75 million. And last but not least is the Pegassi Reaper based off of the Lykan Hypersport and Lamborghini Huracan costing the least at $1.595 million.
In a previous video, we put the Progen T20 at the top of our scorecard for visual appearance against the Pegassi Osiris and Grotti Turismo R. We love the way the McLaren P1 looks in real life, so we love that the T20 is based on that. However, we feel that it is a too simplified version of a P1 and therefore loses the aggression. So how does it stack up against the two new boys on the block? First up, we have the Pegassi Reaper. Unlike the T20, this takes design features from two cars. The main details of the car are taken from a Lamborghini Huracan, but the basic shape is based on a Lykan Hypersport. As you'd expect from a Lamborghini-based car, it's super aggressive, yet unlike other Lamborghini-based cars on the game, such as the Vodka and the Zentorno, it's also very sleek and stylish. Then we have the Vapid FMJ, which is also based on two cars, though instead of mixing the two cars throughout the design, like in the Reaper, it is simply the front end of an Aston Martin Vulcan attached to the back end of a Ford GT. Overall, this looks very good, but GTA have failed to represent fully the rear end of the Ford GT enough. For example, the exhaust placement being on the rear wheel arches rather than on the actual engine bay, and those additional tail lamps around those exhausts look slightly vulgar, and so for us it loses our scorecard for visual appearance. The Reaper actually beats the T20 in our opinion, as it brings back the aggression that the T20 lacks. So this time the T20 is currently second against the new cars. However, it claws back some points in the sound test because once again we ranked it on top due to its immense volume and refined aggression. The Reaper is also very aggressive, as you'd expect from a Lamborghini, but it doesn't quite have the same screen presence of the Progen T20. Finally, the FMJ sounds very similar to the Turismo R, which previously did beat the Progen T20, but it doesn't have the same upshift howl, which leaves it sounding quite plain throughout. So once again, unfortunately, the FMJ loses out. Off the line, we'll be expecting the Progen T20 to be the fastest, as it is the only one with a four-wheel drive system. This should also enable it to corner with more stability and remain traction more than the other two cars. It is, however, the only car that can't be lowered or have an aftermarket wing attached. This could cause it to lose some cornering speed, but hopefully that stock automatic wing/air brake will be sufficient enough. The FMJ doesn't have the four-wheel drive launch or stability of the Progen T20, but coupling its rear-wheel drive system with its attached rear wing and a lower suspension allows it to be more agile than the T20 but still remain the same stability. The brakes feel slightly stronger too, although it doesn't seem to be able to match the T20 for raw power, and so it falls just short of setting the fastest lap time. The Reaper is again rear-wheel drive and has an aftermarket wing and lower suspension, however it handles more like the T20. It almost feels as if it has slight understeer. It also feels like the least powerful car here down the straights, but matches the other two for acceleration out of the corners. However, the lack of power has caused it to be the slowest car here. In a straight line, there's not really much between these three cars except for the Progen T20 being the only one with full drive, therefore having by far the best launch, and that the FMJ has slightly better acceleration at a top end of speed than the Pegassi Reaper, and that's why the T20 is the quickest and the Reaper is once again the slowest.
Okay, so we are now in Los Santos Customs to find out how customizable these cars are. We'll start with the FMJ. This has a total of 12 unique upgradable features. It has 3 front bumpers, the primary colour trim, the matte black trim and the carbon fibre splitter. 4 roof upgrades, the roof scoop, the secondary colour GT scoop, the primary colour GT scoop and the carbon GT scoop. And finally 5 spoilers, the low level spoiler, the high level spoiler, carbon wing, GT wing and enhanced GT wing. Okay, so moving on to the T20 now. This has 11 unique upgradable features, which is just one behind the FMJ. It has 2 front bumpers, the secondary colour splitter and the carbon splitter, 2 rear bumpers, the primary colour diffuser and the secondary colour diffuser, 3 exhaust upgrades, the oval exhaust, the race exhaust and the chrome tip exhaust, 2 hood upgrades, the vented hood and the double vented hood, 1 roof upgrade, the roof scoop, and finally 1 skirt upgrade, the shark fin skirts. Moving on to the Pegassi Reaper now. This has 3 unique upgradable features, which is slightly disappointing seeing as the price of it. It only has 3 spoiler upgrades, which are the low level spoiler, the high level spoiler and the carbon wing. And here is the final scorecard. As we can see, the Progen T20 is the winner and is still the king of supercars, with the Pegassi Reaper and Vapid FMJ coming in joint last with 22 points. All that's left for me to say is thank you guys for watching, hope you've enjoyed it and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.